Hey guys, welcome back to Arcade Garage. If I got my schedules right, this should be the first video for 2023. If that's the case, I hope you guys had a good Christmas and a good New Year's. But straight off the bat, we are getting into Ecojet, which is here. Pretty excited to make this video because I've got a couple of new things to try out right now. The GoPro is on a gimbal, so a controlled, powered gimbal that, so you guys shouldn't be able to see, but should keep everything nice and stable. So I actually have the GoPro's hyper smooth features off at the moment, so I'm trying that. I also got a brand new laptop, zip paid it because my PC and my laptop are both painful. My laptop has stopped, half the keys have stopped working, so you can imagine how painful that is, especially when tuning as well, and at work, because I use that to remote tune there. So I'm excited to use that to edit this video and render it and see how much quicker it is. But straight away we'll be going back onto Ecojet, so let's turn this camera around. So we'll be working on Ecojet here. This gimbal isn't going to let me change. Let's see if I can swap it. There we go. So working back on Ecojet, I got myself a back pressure sensor kit. I've had it for a while, but the sensor finally came in. So we got a 150 psi pressure sensor here from EFI Solutions. That's good for liquid and air, so it's good for everything. Pre-wired a bit of cabling for the engine bay, and I can chuck that into the cabin. And we'll run through. Right, let's flip this around. There we go. All right, so now I'll run through how I've wired everything, well, plumbed everything in here. So we'll run through what a back pressure sensor kit is. So let's flick that around. There we go. So I have drilled and tapped my exhaust housing, so you can probably barely see, but I have drilled and tapped it. I've got a coil here from a Tark's pressure sensor kit, goes down to a canister. It's down there. It's going to be a bit difficult to see. There's a canister there, and then there's a port on top which I blocked off that this pressure sensor here will screw into, and this pressure sensor here will then go into the ECU. So let's have a chat. So back pressure, basically it is the build-up of pressure pre-turbo is what you want to measure. So really, you never want to go above 2 to 1. So say you're running, say 20 psi boost, you never want to be having more than 40 psi back pressure, which is that 2 to 1 ratio. So basically, if you have that much back pressure, either it means your turbo manifolds suck, they can't flow enough air out, or essentially it is your turbo's too small, meaning more so your back half. So for me, I've got the biggest rear housing I can for this, a 1.06 and a T4. Got a custom bigger wheel, but obviously for my cam and heads, I'm just gonna say it, more than likely 80% plus do not flow enough. So I'm very interested to see where my back pressure is. I'm going to, once it's all on and I've got it set up in the ECU, I'm gonna do a run at gate pressure, which is like 13 to 15 psi, and then I'll do it back up at around 26. So I'm interested to see where it's at gate pressure, because it is a 21 psi spring. So in theory, you should be getting close to 21 psi, but the fact I only get 13 to 15 shows that there is a huge amount of back pressure. You know, it pushes the gate open earlier, essentially. And then I'm interested to see where it will be at 26 psi. But that's enough talking. I'm going to get this wiring hooked up, run into the cabin and wired up to the ECU, and then I'll come back when we're plugging in with the ECU. I'll probably screen capture or something and we'll go through the setup. And then the last bit of this will not be filmed tonight, probably tomorrow, which will be taking it out on the street and testing it, making sure the sensor works, seeing what the actual pressures read, getting that data, and then can finish editing this video. So I'll come back to you guys when that's all up and going. And sorry, but this is a lot of talking, but let's get to the action. That's what you guys are here for. Alrighty, got all the wiring ran into the car, all plumbed in, should be all good. So I'm going to jump onto the screen capture now. Hopefully the GoPro is angled right, but let me just get this set up now. Alright, cool. So should be here. Hopefully this is working. You guys can see I'm in the PC Link G4 Plus software. So now I'm going to, for starters, go over to my two-step settings, because right now I'm out of inputs and outputs, so I've got to change change this here. So I want to go launch RPM, where we got it here, launch RPM access setup. I want to change this up. Screw up, I will do all this later off camera anyway. Oh no, here we go. I just want single launch RPM, set that there, launch RPM 3.5, I'll set that to 4.5, okay, done. Alright, cool. So now we want to set up the settings. So now I should have it wired into AN voltage 5 here. So let's change this here to back pressure. We're going to use cal table 9. So I'm going to go over to this here, cal table 9, which hasn't been used. Click on that. I'm going to change that to PSI, because that's what this has come into. Label back pressure sensor, and we simply need to set this up here. So value will be at 0.5 volts and at 4.5 volts. We're getting this info is from all the data sheet that comes with the sensor. So I've got that there, and at 0.5 volts it's 0, and at 4.5 volts it is 150 psi. So got that set up. Then we want to go back across to here to where I've got it, to back pressure function. So I want to double click this. When I want to go down, I can just do it as like a general purpose input and set it like that, but this actually has a back exhaust pressure. So I set it as that, and then that is set as exhaust pressure. Now I want to save this file as my tune there with back pressure sensor. Let's save. Yes, now that is saved. Now I should be able to set up here, new view, we'll just go digital gauge. We'll set this as back pressure, and it should be reading 0 at the moment, 0.3 psi. So there we go. So now that should be reading correct. Yeah, within 0.3, that's fine with me. So I'm gonna call it a night here. I'm not gonna go drive out there because you guys won't be able to see when I film. So I'm gonna edit this video so far, and then we'll come back tomorrow late arvo when it cools down, and we'll go for a drive back out in Mexico to test it. So I will see you guys then. Missed this in editing, but we're out here to test the pressure sensor. I've hit boost a couple times earlier on. I might whack them in before I talk to see if it was there. It was. If it wasn't, it wasn't. But I'm going to do a pull on gate pressure, and I'm going to put it to what it usually makes, 26 psi on the street. We'll see if it does. I might pull over, look at the log quickly to see what it did make. If it was way under, then maybe I'll go to the next boost setting, turn it up a little bit. If not, it is what it is. We'll see what back pressure we have there. We'll be able to roughly tell anyway. It's getting close to 2 to 1. So I'm just going to continue on to Mexico, and when we're there, we'll cut to the next scene when we're about to do a pull. I'm able to do a bit of second and third here. Audio is probably going to be horrible and really windy. I don't think that's any cars coming. Right, same thing, 4th gear, 80 k's an hour. She started to spin and pull me to the side. I wasn't risking that. Double wheel spin and houses and fence posts, no thank you. But hopefully we got that data. Hopefully that was 26 PSI. Right, so just going to finish the video. So I don't have the stabilizer, the gimbal on. Just because I had the GoPro mounted in the car, so I've just got the hyper smooth thing on. So just, if you're still here, thank you, but just a quick you know, 10-second talk about what the data showed. So back pressure was higher up in the RPM. It was getting to like 1.7 to 1 for boost compared to back pressure. So very bottom right of the screen, I had 2 bar graphs, one with boost, one with back pressure. So it's easy to see side by side to compare. They'll scale exactly the same, 0 to 60. So you can visually see as well. So it's not as bad as I thought it was. I honestly expected it to be over 2 to 1, which you don't want it to be over 2 to 1. But still, it still showed that this turbo is still choking the cam and heads, like the whole motor setup for my combo. So I do need a bigger turbo. But it's cool, at least I've got the data now to show it. Yeah, I'll keep that sensor on there, and hopefully this year when the drag's open, well, the drag's actually open this Wednesday, I believe, but I go back to work. So when I'm back, we'll go back to the drags and we'll get some data as well going down the drag strip, which should be some much nicer longer pulls, gripped up, full load on the motor. So we'll see the full back pressure, because obviously I was just spinning on the straight. I could, if no one believes, I can put logs up, you can just see the RPM spike and the speedo spike as well on it. But yeah, so yeah, that's basically it. Yeah, back pressure for a rough talk was like, I think when it tapered down to like 23 or 21 psi, whatever it was at the end of the pull, the back pressure was around like 36.5. So getting close to, yeah, 2 to 1, but like I said, it's like 1.75, 1.6-ish. But that's it. I'm gonna finish this video off here, get this video into the laptop, edited, and see how quick the new one can render, which I'm pretty keen to see. As per always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment, and I'll see you guys next week for a video that I've got to film tomorrow or Tuesday. So yeah, enjoy.